go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Cleveland is the city and town, orange and brown. You know what's going down, we reppin' that dog pound. Fans going crazy, dogs want a bone. Offense headed straight to the end zone. Ground game, pound game, this is our season. Now we need to stop. Let's go defense, special team, running back 6 for the score. Extra point good and the whole crowd roar. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, Brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody, East, West, North, South, worldwide, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns pregame show with me, Keith Allen, and my partner in crime, back after his sabbatical at the Browns game itself last week when he was with the spirit of Jimmy Donovan himself. My man, Ed from Columbus. What's going on with you?
Well, it is Sunday. It is Brown Sunday. Yes, I was at the game last week to see the 2-6 now Cleveland Browns defeat the arch nemesis and your favorite Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. What a great stadium atmosphere. What a infusion of positivity Jameis Winston brought. He also brought some throws that hopefully he doesn't make today, because if he does, I think those might turn into interceptions. But we won't talk about that right now. We will talk about the positivity of the Cleveland Browns, and what they can do today, Keith, is get themselves in better playoff contention, because I conclude that the playoff push starts now. We're 2-6, and thank goodness that the AFC has so much parity, bad teams, that we could still be in that hunt right now, and that they get a W today against another Harbaugh, because it would be back-to-back weeks that the Browns will have taken off Jim and then John Harbaugh. So that'd be kind of nice. So let's go Browns. I'm all in today, Keith, and that's what matters. And hopefully the Browns are doing the same thing today on the lakefront.
Yes, sir. I knew you was gonna dig that in on me. I knew you was gonna dig that in. I was like, I know he gonna put on the thing about Lamar and everything.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, well, it wasn't Lamar's fault. I mean, I watching that game, and as everybody saw, Lamar did his thing. It's just his receivers and then his defense can't catch. Was the reason they didn't get the W.
Yeah, his team failed him around him and everything.
Yeah.
And the defense couldn't cover nobody and stuff like that. So it was just one of those games and everything. But like they say, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. For real, for real. Anybody can beat anybody. And the Browns, but you know what's crazy? The AFC North has some of the weirdest games. The weirdest games, because almost you could tell that some things happened that you was like, And I know, especially since you was down there, some things happened.
Well, I think the familiarity, but I'll say one thing about the AFC North. I think the most surprising thing about it was the back and forth, because there are times in the game where, when Baltimore took the lead, that I thought, especially in the second half, that most of the times you would see the Browns not being able to answer. But they answered it quite a few times, like 2 or 3 times in the second half, which was an irregularity. And then, like you said about AFC North games, looking at the Bengals Ravens game from earlier this year and the back and forth. So yeah, I think it's one of those years where AFC North teams, they play together and against each other, and it is a lot of back and forth, and it comes down to who has the ball last. And the Ravens, they had the ball last and they were marching, and I mean, look at the Bengals game against the Ravens, that the overtime game, and kind of who had it and who missed the field goal. So yeah, the AFC North has been some fun football, and it's been one of those ones where you better watch till the last second, because who knows who's going to win.
Yes, and like I said, the Browns, believe it or not, are still in it, still in it by a pulse, by a pulse. But if they win today, hey, things are looking good heading into the bye week.
Well, another thing too that we'll talk about, if they don't happen to pull out a victory today, that might set the mind frame of the front office into maybe being more sellers, because let's be real, if they don't win today, they're 2-7.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk about this playoff push and, as fans, and it's fun and all that. But from a team standpoint, organizational standpoint, they got to be looking at, making moves for, the season's not going to be able to be salvaged, but going into next year and what they need to do to get some trade capital and some assets. So, yeah, today's a make or break for the Cleveland Browns. And that's what I think it makes it most fun as fans, because this is a season today, Keith. This is our season, because let's be real, we don't win today. I think the organization puts up the white flag and they make some moves at the bye.
yes, and oof,
Hmm.
I don't want to see that.
I don't know. I don't think anybody does. And especially, we'll get into it as well. I'm sure we got to talk a little Cavaliers basketball as well. Nobody wants to see the
Yes,
season end before, it gets to basically, Thanksgiving.
right, because we
I
just
mean,
started in November.
just started, Keith. Just
November just started, and you talking about draft
mm,
and
yeah.
oh,
Oh,
boy, that's
I don't
us
want to do that.
and everything. Because, like I said, the last time I was on here before last week, the Guardians was still playing. Um, Deshaun Watson was still the quarterback,
Yeah.
and I remember saying that last week when they got drubbed by Washington, and I said I'm open to change everything.
Yeah.
And look how things have changed that quick.
It's fun. Well, sports is like that, and I'll say the mind frame, especially after Washington, was, I think if you polled all Browns fans, most of them would be like, just rip it down. But that beating a division rival, especially a team as good as the Baltimore Ravens, that
Yes,
that
you
that
beat
can
top two or three.
yeah, and you know what I think what upsets a lot of Browns fans when they look back at the season is, we saw how they played against the Ravens, and the offensive line looked better, the defense looked, they weren't always perfect in the game, but they made plays when they had to, and you wonder too, like, how much of it was Watson, how much of it was, the coaching staff, how much it was, the injuries. I mean, there's so many things that go into a football season when you're only talking about 17 games. That's why the Browns
Yes,
giving away those early games, the way, especially when we talked about this, Keith. I remember we're playing the Giants, we're playing the Raiders, we're playing the Commanders in that 3-game stretch or whatever. And most Browns fans would have said, we're going 3-0, we're going 3-0 when you looked at the season, and we went 0-3. And I think that's what's
right.
most frustrating about it.
We went 0 for the AFC, what AFC, well, NFC
And it,
East,
yeah. Yikes.
which might come back to bite them later on.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, but I will say one thing. At least it wasn't against AFC opponents. If you're gonna lose, you might as well lose to the NFC. I get that, but not all of them, Keith. Not every single one of them.
Not all of them. It was like, come on, the Giants. And think
Mm,
about it. The thing is, now you look at everything and you look at with Jameis. Just imagine if Jameis would have probably played in some games earlier.
well, that's what I was gonna get into. The woulda, coulda, shouldas, and I don't want to
Yeah,
bash Watson and this be a
right.
show of best bashing Watson.
Exactly.
But I think it would be doing a disservice to our listeners out there if we didn't entertain that fact that if Winston would have been in there, because let's be real, Keith. I think a lot of the offensive woes, when we look at the line, I mean, it's been injured, but also too, it hasn't played as well. Okay, and I'll grant you that. But at the same time, when Winston is getting the ball out as quickly as he is, that helps the offensive line. And I think the problem with the
Yes.
offensive line, a lot of it was they just don't know how to block for Watson. He's a different cat. He's a different animal. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but at the same time, I don't think the offense was ever in sync.
And I'm going to tell you another thing that adds to that theory. The offensive line is in flux like that when DTR is back there as well. It's the same thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He gets happy feet, and
Yep.
it
Well,
just,
I'll give Winston a lot of credit. Like, he throws a lot of interceptions, and he probably should have had some
yeah.
last week. But I will give him some, and maybe it's because he's a veteran, but so is Watson. And I'll say this: Winston, I think, can just read defenses better. And because you know what, he gets that ball out quick. And yes, sometimes he makes decisions that you're scratching your head. But I'll take this. I will live and die with a quarterback like we had with Flacco last year, with what we saw in Winston against the Ravens, that makes a quick decision. Because if you're not making quick decisions, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. So I'll take the interceptions if it comes with the 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. It kind of,
Right.
Keith, doesn't this look a lot like Flacco a little bit last year?
Hey, remember what I said? Winston is Flacco 2.0,
I'll take it. It
a
was
younger
fun.
version,
It was fun. That
a
was
younger,
fun.
viable version. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just a younger, viable version and everything. So, and speaking of Joe Flacco, he he has the job in Indianapolis now
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson decided to tap out last week and say he was tired. What's up, Sean Hall? What's going on with you, my man? He took over the job in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's like I thought a lot of AR. I still think he's got a promising future in the
Yeah,
league, but not a good look when you're tapping out like that. Just
yes, yes, it isn't. It isn't. It shows your
he's immature, I think, a little immature. That's all.
yeah. So I like that kind from the South, Winston. Yeah,
No, okay.
when but what Winston is, when Winston was in the game, you sensed a sense of belief.
Yeah. The
The
offense
team
was humming.
believed, the offense believed that they could win this game, which that energy also transferred to the defense as well.
Well, they know there's a chance. And I'll say one thing. What I liked about the Winston-led offense was there was a rhythm to it. It seemed like Watson when he was in the beginning of the year, and even last year when he was winning, it always seemed like they would go fast and it would slow down. It was never just rhythm. They didn't have a good cadence to it. But with Winston
Yes,
last week, watching that offense, whether it was the first half or the second half, there seemed to be a flow to the game that we haven't seen in a while.
that's true. And like I said, this is right now basically the dating phase, the getting
Yeah,
to know each other
that's
stage,
right.
basically where it's all fun and stuff right now and
Yeah.
everything. And Jameis, if he comes up on this opportunity, who knows for next year? You know what I'm saying? Because next year, all I can really guarantee Deshaun, if I was the brass right now, is a spot on the roster.
Yeah, just because you have to because of the cap hit.
Yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, you get rid of him." You can't
You
get rid of
can't.
him. You get
You
rid
can't
of
get rid of
Deshaun. Trust
no.
me, if you get rid of Deshaun, you might as well be saying adios to Miles Garrett,
Yeah. That's a great
adios,
point. Yep.
adios to a lot of people that you don't want. Right now, hey, dude is gonna be back in camp next year.
Yeah.
Now, whether he has a starting job or not, to me, he would have to compete.
I would agree with that. I agree with
He
that.
would have to compete where he'd have to play in preseason and he would have to ball out in order
Yep.
for me to, because we done spent our wheels 3 years now.
Yeah. Well, another thing too with this Winston, I'm glad you made a great point about Winston. Do I think that he's going to be the franchise quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years?
No.
Probably not. But here's what I do like: if you don't like a quarterback, and the Browns maybe not picking as high as what we thought, if they keep winning games, they're not going to be as high. So what Winston can be is a nice 2 to 3 year bridge, and then
Yes.
maybe you don't like a quarterback coming out next year, but you like maybe the next year in 2026 when there's an Arch Manning and there's other players out there. So what you can do then is still be competitive next year, not waste the seasons of Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, and other players that you were talking about maybe having to
Yes.
trade in that scenario. Because it's like I'm
Yes.
sick of giving up on seasons, but if Winston can be a viable option, that's why I think that's why people were upset about the whole Flacco thing, because they felt that if Watson wasn't successful or he got hurt, which he has a propensity to get hurt, and he did again this year. What are you going to
Yeah.
do then? They didn't want to give up on the season. Now, I don't think they expected us to be 1-5 or 1-6. I
No,
think
not
that
at
was the
all.
issue.
That
Yeah,
was the thing. We probably expected to be 4-3.
that's the thing. Yeah, yeah.
At
But
worst, maybe 3-4, but 1-5,
yeah, yeah.
1-6.
That's where I think, because Watson wasn't exactly playing the greatest last year. He was playing good until he got hurt, but he was.
Good.
But he
Yeah.
was still 5-1. He was still 5-1 as a starter.
Yes.
But this year, even when he did have good games against the Raiders and stuff, we didn't win those games, and that's what I think that
And I think Kevin Stefanski kind of learned the lesson
I hope so.
where you have to play your people during preseason.
Yeah, yeah,
You have
yeah.
to.
Week
You
1
have
cannot be
to.
preseason. Week 1 cannot be
No,
preseason.
no, you have to play your people during preseason because the thing is, especially with your quarterback, and especially since you're having a brand new
I
offense.
know that's the thing. We talked about it all throughout that whole time period. Like you're
Yes,
installing a new offense. What are you doing? Go get reps, get reps, get reps.
yes, get reps and everything like that because it makes it better for the regular season. And who's to say he might have looked it better during the regular season had he had reps during the preseason?
It couldn't have hurt. It couldn't have hurt.
It couldn't have hurt, even if you had to put him out there for one series
Yeah.
or
Andy
two
Reid.
series.
Andy Reid plays Patrick Mahomes like for full halves in the preseason. That's
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes, and he'll go out there and play a first half against like the Dolphins or some meaningless team, and he doesn't have any qualms about it. So I don't know why
No.
anybody else would.
Yes. And like with the Flacco thing, I wasn't opposed to them keeping Flacco anyway. I just knew that they weren't.
Yeah. Well, when we signed Winston, I mean, and what we saw last week is like you said, Winston Flacco 2.0. I have no problem with that.
2.0.
I
Yeah.
just think Winston maybe should have played a little earlier. Maybe that would.
I think the after the Philadelphia game, I think the
Yeah.
Cincinnati game should have been Jameis's. You
And
know
why
what
did
I'm saying?
DTR play that instead of that was you gave that game?
Ooh.
If Winston plays
You
that Bengals game, we're three
we
and
win
five.
that game.
We're
Yes.
3-5 instead of 2-6. We win
Yes.
today. We're 4-5. This whole season changes. I don't understand that.
Yes. You can't sabotage wins or the season just to
No.
prove a point.
Yeah, that was
And I
horrible.
hope that's a lesson that they learn because I'm gonna be honest, if you play DTR, that means you're probably going 2-15.
DTR.
And you might not survive that.
Yeah, I think this whole DTR notion of he's even a viable backup and somebody he's a second to maybe third stringer. I don't think he's gotten any better. I mean, I think he played 4 years at UCLA, and when you're a quarterback at a program as high as UCLA and you play all 4 years, because you're not really ever going to be good enough for the NFL. It's like that Kyle McCord thing. You'd be good, but let's be real. If you're not getting NFL scouts wanting you after your second or third year, and you're probably not going to be elite. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean he can't have a long career with the
yeah,
clipboard. But at the same
right.
time, he's not a franchise guy, and Winston should have been playing because you paid him $6 million
Yes,
to be a backup, not to just
yes,
sit, third string.
yes. But that ain't the first time we done did some stuff like that
We do
before.
dumb shit, Keith. We do dumb shit.
Because I remember we had a quarterback that shouldn't had no business playing due to his shoulder being mangled, and you had a $6 million backup that
Stupid.
was capable of playing, and
Yeah.
you only played in one game, in a game that you won.
Yeah. Case Keenum.
But there
Yeah.
was no adult in the room to tell the other guy, you need to sit down.
And that may have saved his career in Cleveland if he would have sat down too. Like that brought on the animosity. That could have changed the whole complexity of everything that happened with the QB position moving forward. And it's just the Browns. They can't get out of their own way. They make dumb
Yeah,
decision after dumb decision. They drafted Manziel. That was dumb. They do all these things. Even Whedon, that was dumb. You do all these things, and it's just like and then but you instead of just cutting your losses and just they let it go for a couple years, the experiment, and we all know it's not going to work, and we're just fans, and yet these people getting paid
right.
millions of dollars in Berea. Nope, let's trot him out next year. Oh, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Because think about it. San Francisco cut their losses
Yeah,
with
and
Trey Lance.
they go to Super Bowls.
Yeah. And they drafted Mr. Irrelevant.
Seventh round.
Yeah. And went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And probably, if breaks would have went their way, probably should have won it.
They should have won that. Yeah, they should have.
And like I said, sometimes you got to be willing to move on. Just think about it. Look at this. Pittsburgh got two quarterbacks off the scrap heap, for real, for real. You got Russell Wilson, bargain basement price. You got Justin Fields, bargain basement price. And they're 6-2.
Makes you sick. It makes you sick
Which
as a Browns fan.
which we both had a feeling that Pittsburgh was going to be good.
Yeah, that
Even though I
defense.
had them in last, but I had a strange feeling
Yeah.
that they was going to be tough
Yeah, you
this
had them with
year.
a winning record. I think I did too. I mean, they're
Yeah, I
always
had
going
them
to
with
have
a
a
winning
winning record.
record,
Yeah.
but I had it. I used to say before I made my pick, and sometimes you make your pick on homerism,
Yeah.
but I had a feeling before I made my pick. I was like, Pittsburgh might contend for the division, believe it or not, because
Yeah.
Russ is way better than Pickett.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, Justin Fields is way better
Yeah.
than Pickett, and you've
Yep.
seen it. They went 4-2 with Justin at the helm.
Yep. That's right.
And when Justin said it himself, I played okay, but I didn't play good enough.
Yeah.
He held himself accountable.
It's culture.
And yeah, and see, that's why a lot of people like Lamar. Because every time the Ravens fell short, what did Lamar say? Every
You
time.
could have played better. Could have played better.
And I got to get better.
Yep. Even though he was the best player on the field, he still said
Right, right. And he says that.
it.
It's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
he held himself accountable. And I'm just saying, for next year, for number 4 and everything, I think he needs time away, just to get away, get himself right, get himself healthy, and everything. And I think he could go over watching a lot more film.
He's gonna have to get better in the pocket. I hate to say this, but looking back at
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson when he was in Houston, a lot of the highlights that we see as Browns fans, with the trade package and everything, was him doing what he did in Cleveland, getting out of the pocket and moving around, and that's just kind of who he is. And I'm wondering, and you watch Lamar Jackson, and they always said, "Oh, he's a running back." No, Lamar Jackson prefers to stay in the pocket. He's got good pocket awareness. He slides. He doesn't run. Deshaun Watson goes into run mode, where Lamar will actually shift over like you're supposed to. And I think that's the one misconception people have of
And
Lamar
think
Jackson.
about what Lamar said. Lamar said this after his second season. I'd rather be in the pocket.
Yeah, look at him at Louisville. A lot of those, he was just in the pocket throwing darts. I don't know. He won the Heisman for a reason, and it wasn't with his legs. He can throw. And as a Browns fan, I know it's easy to bang on him and say, "Oh, he's just this." No, Lamar Jackson is probably one of the best quarterbacks. Forget the legs. Forget the
In the
legs.
league. In the
Yeah.
league. In the league.
Yes.
And like I said, that's why we can't poo-poo over the Browns' victory last week, because you
No,
beat
it was a great
one of
win.
the
Great
top
win.
2 or 3 teams in the league.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's definitely a Super Bowl contender. I don't care what their record is. They could be 5-3 or this or that. They could be 6. It doesn't matter. They're the kind of team you don't want to play because they have Superman playing quarterback. Lamar Jackson
Yes.
is what I thought Deshaun Watson could be. And he's
Yes.
probably the most frightening player to go up against because
Yes.
he can just go off for over 400 total yards by himself.
Yes. And for Deshaun, it's really not too late.
It's
For real,
not.
for real.
It's not. It's
He
not.
just gotta, he just gotta reevaluate, and he just gotta reevaluate things. That's it, and reevaluate from afar, and come down with his head down and ready to play ball and compete.
Now, do you think Browns fans? Do you think they trot him out next year? I don't
It
know.
all depends. I say this: if let's just say he comes back next year and balls to the floor, Browns fans will forget about everything.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
They'll forget about everything. But if he come back and he's checking down and stuff
Oh,
like that
yeah,
and
yeah.
being afraid to make a mistake, they gonna come down with the wrath on him. You know what I'm saying? And like, I said this last week. I said when the incident happened where they was cheering that he was down and everything, I look at it from both sides.
Mhm.
The fans are frustrated
Yep,
because you expect this team to be in contention for the AFC,
yep,
but yet you're 1-5,
yeah.
and you got a high price acquisition, but yet for whatever reason
Right,
it's not
right.
working out.
Yep.
But I also side with the players as well because that's their brother on the field,
Right. I get it. I get it.
and they're in the trenches with them. You know what I'm saying? They're in the trenches with them and stuff like that. Because if something happens to one of your coworkers or something, you will probably feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And it was after a loss. If they would
Yeah,
have won the game, it would have been different.
and you got to think about it. They just seen they dude go down on a non-contact injury.
Yeah.
That it reminds you of when Nick Chubb went down last year, where Browns' last thing on their mind probably was football after that. I get that
Yeah.
in that Pittsburgh game. And the same thing with the Cincinnati game. Probably might have been the last thing on their mind after he got hurt, and a lot of emotions ran heavy and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And but for the first time this year, last week against the Ravens, they actually played with some conviction.
Yeah.
They actually used it as a positive. They played with some conviction, and because remember what I said during the preseason and during earlier this season, that this team is playing as if
Sleepwalking.
sleepwalking.
Yep.
Finally, they woke up.
Yeah.
They finally woke up,
Took them week till week 8, but whatever.
and if it took that, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, in which I hope Deshaun makes a full recovery, and I expect to see him back in training camp. Or if he's not in training camp, we'll see him back next year. Because all y'all people that's delusional, thinking that the Browns are gonna cut him, can you afford $172 million?
No, but I will say one thing: if Jameis Winston balls out and kind
Yeah.
of goes on a Flacco run, is
Yes.
and he's brought back next year? Is he guaranteed the starting job, or are you still making him compete?
Hmm. Like I
Just, I
said,
mean,
Deshaun will have to compete. In Deshaun's case, he would have to
well, he would
compete.
have to, right? I would say, but
He would have to
would you
compete.
guarantee that spot to
And
Winston?
Jameis probably would be QB1 for the moment. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because I don't think
And
Deshaun will
plus,
be ready for week 1, anyways. Do
I
you
don't think
next
he
year?
will either. No.
Yeah, so I
And
think it's a moot
plus,
point.
and
Yeah.
plus, if we haven't learned nothing from all this time, the last 2, 3 years, you need more than one capable quarterback
Oh, absolutely. Think that was
in
a great.
this league.
Say it louder, Keith, to the people
You
that are.
need more than one capable quarterback to compete in this league. Think about this. Where would Pittsburgh been if Justin Fields wasn't there when
Oh,
Russell
geez.
got hurt?
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Think about it. Last year, Cincinnati finished 9-8
yeah, that
because
quarter Browning.
Browning balled
Yeah,
out.
he did. Yeah,
He balled out when Burrow got hurt. Think about it. The Browns, we went through 5 different starting quarterbacks last year.
yeah,
And we just struck gold with Flacco.
yep,
And he came off the couch. So that's why I wasn't opposed to the Browns keeping Flacco for the
yeah.
next year. You know what I'm saying? Even though I understood, yeah, maybe his age or whatever, but
Right.
I felt Flacco could help both Deshaun and DTR
More. Yeah, that's a good
in
point.
the film room, in the locker room, all that. Because Flacco has been there, done that.
It's true.
And Jameis Winston is really Flacco 2.0, just a younger version.
He proved it last week, and
30,
hopefully,
30
yeah,
year old version. And
yeah.
Jameis got the talent. He was a number 1 overall pick.
I know.
So can't underestimate. And think about this. When he was in New Orleans the last year when he was in New Orleans, a lot of people thought he should have been the starter.
I know. That's the thing. You're exactly right. And
Only thing that messed Winston up is he had got hurt. And in
yeah,
the year that he got hurt, he had 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions
I know he was turning it
because
around.
he had got that eye surgery that corrected
Yeah,
his vision.
yeah, yeah.
So Jameis ain't to be slept on. You know what I'm saying? He ain't to be slept on. Now, he made some throws that was kind of like, oh shit.
Hmm.
Especially that one to Kyle Hamilton that he
Oh,
dropped.
whoa! My heart sank. But the next throw was the winning touchdown to Till.
And think about this. But that game was kind of off the hook because Lamar should have threw some picks too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
He had about 2 or 3 balls
Yep.
that should have
It
been
was back
picked.
and forth with the
It
bad
was back
throws.
and forth.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was back
Yeah.
and forth. But
Yeah.
think about with Jameis Winston, you've seen a resurgence in Elijah Moore.
He it was funny that you said, I'm glad you said that. I mentioned his name because that name hasn't been brought up a lot this year. But yeah, Winston, he took what the defense gave him. He made quick
Yes.
decisions, and he was just spreading the ball all
All
around. And
around.
Elijah Moore,
Yes.
he can be a weapon. That's the thing about him. We brought him in to be a weapon, and he's only a weapon when you are spreading the ball around, because he's
Yes.
kind of like a forgotten guy that I think some defenses
Yes.
look at him, because he hasn't been used that much. And when you
But
can
when
get the
Joe Flacco was here, he used him.
exactly,
Use him. Throw him the ball. He could catch.
he can catch,
He
he
could
creates
catch.
space. Yep.
Yes, he creates space. And Tillman,
Tillman's a
I don't
baller.
know who this guy is.
I was making jokes that they're going to be like, who is Bernie Kosar? Because number 19 is Tillman.
I didn't know who this guy was.
It was, yeah.
And Jared Judy, he played well. I mean,
Yep. They all played well.
Winston had everybody involved in the game.
Njoku played well.
Yes. And the thing about Winston is he communicates with everybody.
He does.
He communicates with everybody. He's a strong communicator. But he's always had that in him. Because actually, to be honest, the Guardians could use him probably too.
Oh, jeez. Hey, the Yankees could have used him in the World Series.
We're not going to talk about that.
All right.
We're going to talk about that on the week show.
You
Freddie Freeman still hurt my feelings. He made me sicker.
Who's more scarier to Yankees fans, Freddie Freeman or Freddie Krueger?
It's gonna be Soto if he signed with the Dodgers. That's who's more scarier.
Oh, yeah,
but Freeman is the scary one. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I was watching that game 5, when we was up 5-0, I was like, we got this. We got this.
You should have.
We got this. Then everything that you couldn't expect happened.
Yeah.
That was Aaron Judge's first error of the whole season.
Wow.
Out in outfield. First error. Couldn't happen at a more grander time, though.
Well, I heard they're going to have him in Times Square on New Year's because to drop the ball.
I can't even say nothing. Then I got my dude Garrett Cole on the mound.
Yeah.
So I got my chest out. I'm like, oh, he gonna get out this, and he struck out the last 2 dudes.
Yeah.
Then Mookie Betts hits a lazy ass ground ball to Rizzo. That Garrett Cole didn't even cover first.
I'm going to defend Garrett Cole on this. If Rizzo would have moved his ass
Rizzo
over,
would have charged the ball too. He could have charged.
He was closer to first base. He should have just ran it in himself.
I just said you can't be. Ed, I'm sitting in my room like you can't be serious. That's kind of stuff that happens to the Browns.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
That's kind of stuff that happens to the Browns. I was like, damn it, I was about to go order my CC Sabathia number 52.
Oh,
which I'm still gonna order.
Okay.
I'm still gonna order that because that's the last time they won it, 2009.
Yeah.
And even though I don't agree, Boone gonna be back, but we gotta talk about that during the week.
Yeah, I fair enough. You just mentioned, so Cleveland, so I had to go with you. I had to push back.
Oh, man, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But anyway, the Browns can make it all better today.
What are your keys to victory, Keith? What do you think first half? You know what I'm saying? What do they got to do? What do the Browns have to do today, do you think?
Browns got to start off well. They got to put pressure on Justin Herbert. And they got to make Los Angeles make mistakes.
Yeah.
They got to force some turnovers because I don't know if the Browns can put up 29 on this team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I really don't. And the Chargers have held their last 4 opponents to 17 points or less.
They lead the league in NFL defense when it comes to points allowed. Yeah.
Now they are vulnerable at the cornerback spot, but they play basically zones. So Winston is going to have to be patient, and Nick Chubb is going to have to progress a little bit more. But we do have Jerome Ford back too.
Yeah. Yes. Now Foreman's out. Foreman is out. Ford is back. And what I'm hearing from is they want to get Nick Chubb around 20 carries today.
Okay. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Because I think if Nick Chubb can gain 75 to
Yeah,
100.
yeah,
I like the Browns' chances
I would agree with that.
because then he can, what's the name, that zone? He can break that zone,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
they won't have to play two. They won't be playing two high safeties because Jameis is really gonna have to take what they give him
Yeah.
and show some patience and everything.
Well,
He gonna,
he was doing that. It was funny because before a lot of the highlights obviously were Tillman and him going over the top and everything, but a
yes,
lot of the good Jameis throws that I was seeing from him were the underneath stuff, though, but it wasn't like the
yes,
check. It wasn't check downs. It was just
right,
taking what the defense gave him. A lot of sideline routes that he was throwing like
yes,
darts to Judy. There was a couple ones that he got a couple first downs with. So I like what you're saying there. I think the Browns need to get off to a fast start, get turnovers. Of course, I think that. But what they
yes,
did last week is going to be the keys. The success moving forward is manageable third downs. They put themselves in
yes.
manageable third downs. And like you said, I like what you said about Nick Chubb getting that 75 to 100 yards. He doesn't need to hit the home run, but if you can get
No,
the third and fours, the third and threes, if you can get
yes,
that with a Nick Chubb, because we're going to go for it on fourth down. That's what we do. We're going to go for it on fourth down. So if you can get a third and three, third and four, you have two downs to get it. You can run it on that third down, kind of like what Ohio State did to Penn State yesterday when it came
yes,
to that last drive and they just ran it
yes.
down their throats. If we can do that and Nick Chubb can look like he did, I don't need him to look like all-star Nick Chubb, whatever like that, but
No,
I need him to look
no,
like he did last week and we'll be fine.
yes. Because, like I said, think about it. Nick Chubb didn't have a great game last week,
He had one
but
yard. Yeah.
it was effective enough for
Yes.
Jameis to be able to operate
That's
when
right.
it
Then the
came
play
to throwing
action.
the ball. Yeah, with the play action and
Yep.
everything. So that's key. And the one thing I am scared of, because the Browns are missing linebackers. They know JOK. He's on the injury reserve for 4 weeks, and it
Yeah.
doesn't even count the bye week. So he'll be back like week 14.
Oh, yikes.
Right. And Hicks is still out.
Jordan Hicks. I know that. Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Oof. So, Diabate, we're counting
He
on
looked.
you.
I'm glad you mentioned his name because when watching the game, we mentioned his name a few times. He was a dog last week.
He gonna have to be a dog this week
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
And no stupid ass penalties. Which this past week they wasn't
We were
bad.
pretty clean. Pretty
We were
clean
pretty
last week.
clean. We were
Yeah.
pretty clean. And see,
Yeah.
that's now what Kevin Stefanski now as the CEO can do now. He can
Yes.
look at everything and be like, hey, look. And now let me ask you this: if
Yeah.
Jedrick Wills is available to play, who you gonna start at left tackle?
I think I'm going to go with Wills still. Look. I still think there's something. I don't know what it is. If it's a motivation, but it seems like when he makes mistakes, and it's more of a mental thing with him. Like it's like I think he's checked out or something. I don't know what it is with him. I think that
I
the
tell you
talent.
this.
You
I tell
know,
you this. If Wills have a lapse, Winston is gonna let him know.
I know that's the thing. There's accountability now with the quarterback position with
Yes.
everything, and yeah. So
If he has a lapse and something happens crazy, because he didn't do my man number 4, Mr. Deshaun, no favors the last time he was out there. Last time Wills was out there. So he did not do Deshaun no favors and everything. So I don't know. Will it be interesting to see who starts at left tackle? It'd be very interesting to see who starts at left tackle. Ed, is you with me? You ain't in the phantom zone, are you? It'd be very interesting. What? Well, they're like Ed is frozen and everything. But no turnovers for the Browns, but they need to force turnovers. They need to force turnovers. And special teams has to come to the foray as well. Special teams has to put in that work too and everything. So we will see. We will definitely see. I'm gonna say tonight, today, it could be anybody's ball game. But I think it's gonna be a lower score game. And I don't know, I'm gonna see if Ed gonna come back on and everything. 'Cause like he got frozen in time and stuff, whatnot, and things. But everybody, chime in, comment. What do y'all think that the Browns need to do today in order to win this game? What do y'all think? As we got a few minutes and everything, I'm not gonna go into no other games today. Right now, the Browns game is the most important game today. Let's see, Ed is back. Let's see. Uh
Hey,
oh, wrong
uh-oh.
angle.
Little technical difficulties in the yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I said if wheels have a lapse, Jameis Winston gonna let him know about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Cause he ain't do Deshaun no favors in Cincinnati with Cincinnati. None.
Jeez,
No favors. Shout out to my dude Mike Russell. He has sent me some tape.
uh-oh.
And it was
Tell him.
bad on Jedrick's part. But he gets engaged. I don't think the Browns are bringing him back next year anyway.
No, I don't think so. I think he's done. I definitely think that it's time for a change for everybody there.
Yes. Dwan Jones looked decent out there, though, at left tackle. He looked
I think
competent.
he might. They were asking Tony Grossi, and he thinks that he probably might be the future left tackle. So that's good.
Yeah. He looked competent out there and everything.
He does,
So
yeah.
he looked the part and everything. So, we'll see and everything. You got any other key points?
I just think I just keep humming, get that offense humming along, and just play like you kind of played last week and keep it going. Kind of like what Flacco did last year. You got to stack up wins. You got to stack up getting 300-yard games. You got to stack up getting 75 to 100 yards rushing. You got to be balanced. I like what Ken Dorsey did offensive. I like the play calling. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Yes. Yes. Now, like I said, we don't have no other games. We ain't got no other games we're going to predict because this game matters the most.
Yeah, this is our season right here.
Yes. So, who do you have winning today?
I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns 23, the L.A. Chargers 20.
Okay. I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns 24, the LA Chargers 21.
Okay, all right. I'll take that.
Last second Destin Hopkins field goal.
That'll
I said
work.
the special teams got to put in work. Because they left little to be desired over the last couple of weeks and everything. So
yeah, well,
they got to put in work.
Well, like I said, I think Bajorquez looked good. Dustin Hopkins, he didn't miss anything. They looked a little better. Right. Still not as crisp as I want them to be. Yes. Thank gosh Justin Tucker missed his field goal last week. That was nice.
But you know what? Justin Tucker has been human this year.
He doesn't. Yeah, I think age has finally caught up.
Yeah, he's been human this year. So. And I could tell you that was Jim Donovan when Hopkins hit that field goal to hit the crossbar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Jim Donovan just pushed it in between. Shout out to Jim Donovan. If you're still around, Jim, we need your help.
Yeah.
We definitely need your help. But I got the Browns 24-21.
Okay, 24-21. I said 23-20. I think, what I'm saying, I don't know if it's going to come down to, that Dustin Hopkins field goal, but I like it if that's the case, because in your scenario, the game's tied, and then even if he misses it, we can't lose. So I like that. I don't mind that. That's fine. Okay. I don't mind.
Exactly. And then we can sweep the Harbaugh brothers.
There you go.
Because I look at this game, it's a game we can easily win, and it's a game we could easily lose.
It's a tough AFC opponent, tough matchup, tough quarterback, tough coach. It's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. If you win back-to-back weeks against two Harbaughs, Baltimore and the LA Chargers, that means you're a good football team.
Yes, and that means they're gonna look at everybody like they're crazy. Like, why in the hell are we 3-6?
Yeah, well, that's gonna lead. Yeah, well, that's the woulda, coulda, shouldas are coming back out.
Right, exactly. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. But like I said, I got the Browns 24-21.
I'll take that. We'll take that.
Definitely take it. Now, did you enjoy yourself at the game last week?
I did enjoy myself. So I got up there with my son, took my son to his first. I took him to a Browns game against the Bengals in 2019, Freddie Kitchens' last game. But this was his first one in Cleveland. So we're 1-0 on the lakefront. Beautiful weather. against an AFC opponent, the Baltimore Ravens. So that was great. Got to see Lamar do his thing. That was wonderful. I was thinking about you, Keith, every time Lamar was running and doing his thing. I was like, yeah, he is a superstar. Keith is right. I already knew that. But to see it firsthand is, it's
See
another.
it firsthand is a whole
So
different experience.
when it's all said and done, the fact that I got to see Lamar Jackson play football firsthand, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I mean, that's just
Yes, he's gonna be first ballot.
first ballot Hall of Famer. So that was
He's gonna be
quite to
first
see.
ballot.
But the fans, the re-energized fans was fun to see. The fact that it was a back and forth game, and it was good to see. And at the end, leaving the stadium with everybody hooting and hollering, that's such a great
Yes.
experience. And like I said, it's a family thing, it's a Cleveland thing. And then, like I said, my son's 1-0, and I told him, if you ever want to go back to another game, let's wait till we figure this quarterback thing out first.
Yeah, 'cause my son told me, he said he's going to the Pittsburgh game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Isn't that a Thursday night game?
Yes. He's going in his black and
Okay.
yeah.
No, it's funny that you said that, because obviously we had Browns fans, we had Ravens fans, but there were a couple people wearing Steelers jerseys at that game. I was like, okay, all
I
right.
believe it. I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah, and he said he going black and gold and everything. I said, oh my goodness.
Speaking of black and gold, shout out to the Columbus Crew. They took an L against the New York Red Bulls last Monday, but they got to get a win today, otherwise their season's over with, and they're the second seed, and that could be quite a disappointing year for another Jimmy Haslam team.
Yes. Also, shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, we got to talk a little Cavs here.
Man, I ain't get to talk about the Cavs almost in 7-0. And did you watch the game last night?
I did watch the game. I think what's great about what Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs said was it wasn't just the shot; it was the Isaac Okoro rebound that created that opportunity for the shot to go down. That they're playing as a team when that's the thing that they're pinpointing, and a great win. And 7-0 is 7-0 because now you can be 8-0, and that's a great thing.
And think about it, Okoro actually won that game for him, for real. The hustle points, and he scored 13 points, and he hit some key threes down the stretch.
Well, that's the nice thing to see. If Isaac Okoro's hitting threes, then this team is going to be really, really tough to beat.
Good, yes. That's what I said. I'm like, man, Ty Jerome, where did you come?
I like, I'm so glad you mentioned him. He's becoming one of my favorite players, because when he comes in, he is a baller.
Yes, Ty Jerome. I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Then I said, wait a minute, that's Ty Jerome. I forgot he only played 2 games last year.
He's fun. He's fun. He hustles. He makes threes. I mean,
I'm going to say this. You could tell the difference night and day with Kenny Atkinson and
I'm glad you mentioned him. Now, during the hiring process, you had mentioned some candidates that you preferred more than Kenny Atkinson, some being Sam Cassell, Rajon Rondo. You were not exactly the biggest Kenny Atkinson fan.
I wasn't. I admit that. I wasn't.
I know. That's why I'm doing it, Keith. That's why we're doing this.
But I have to give it to him, because, dude, 2 games, New York and Milwaukee, he made adjustments and everything where the New York game, prime example, he usually went 10 deep.
Yeah.
That second half, he only went 8.
He shrunk that bench.
Shrunk that bench.
Yep.
He was like, nope, because we're going to get blown out if not. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Milwaukee, team was down by 16.
Yeah.
And you was minus Karis LeVert last night.
Yeah. Who's been playing well this year, too. He's another one.
Yes, and man, I mean,
so did Dan get it right? So are you saying Dan, the meddling owner that is Dan Gilbert, because it was Dan wanted Atkinson.
So far, so good. I can't. Okay. I gotta be honest. So far, so good. So far, Dan's gotten it right. He's hit a home run so far, but it's still early. But the last time the Cavs team was. When was the last time the Cavs was 7-0?
I think it was 2016, or 2015. One of those Cavs.
Yeah,
one of those.
Something like that. It's like, man. And they play the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night. The
Yeah,
thing
again,
about the scary thing with the Cavs is it's not just Donovan Mitchell now.
it's a team. It's the whole team now. That
Any given night, it could
any one of
be
those cats.
Donovan, it could be
Darius,
Darius, it could
Mobley.
be Evan
Yep.
Mobley,
Yep.
it could be Jared Allen, it
Yep.
could be Levert off the bench,
Yeah.
it could be any host of people.
Yeah.
And man,
You might get some Ty Jerome up that ass. Who knows?
right, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you might get a Jalen Tyson one
Oh,
time. You
he's
know what I'm
another one.
saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and he don't even have to play now
Yeah.
since everybody else is doing their thing. I mean, it just because when the Cavs brought everybody back, they basically said it was an indictment upon Bickerstaff.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It was an indictment
So
upon.
far, that assumption's been correct. We're 7-0. I
And the
mean,
thing I like with the Cavs now is where Atkinson they play faster.
they
They
score
don't clog
130.
the ball up. Cause I used to always say, and you can attest this, how in the world you got two of the fastest power forward and center combination in the game, and you bringing the ball up like Clydesdales?
Yeah. Well,
I don't get that.
they're like race cars now.
Right, exactly. But they play Milwaukee tomorrow night. Hopefully they can go 8-0. And I'm gonna be honest, Giannis and Dame was getting it. They got the best out of Giannis and Dame, but it wasn't nobody else for
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
that team, they don't have a third guy, really.
Yeah, it was
It's
like,
fine. Hey, too bad. Oh, so sad,
yeah, and also since I didn't get a chance to, since I've been out, shout out to the Cleveland Guardians on the
Yeah,
good season. Didn't get as far as we wanted,
no,
but nobody expected them to get to the ALCS either.
that's true.
Nobody.
That's true.
Nobody. I had them in picked to be in third.
That's right. You had Detroit, and then you had
In Minnesota. I had Detroit and
yeah,
Minnesota. And Kansas City came out of nowhere.
yeah. That's gonna be a fun division next year, like it
The
was this year. But
Guardians are going to have to open up the purse strings. They're going to have to. Because
uh,
really, the only difference between the Guardians and the Yankees is the Yankees have more hired guns than the
yeah,
Guardians.
yeah, I agree.
That was it. That was really it. Because defensively, the Guardians are better.
Yep.
Base running wise, the
Better
Guardians are better.
bullpen.
Uh, bullpen, the Guardians are better, even though you couldn't tell through Class A and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
it
I like
happens.
that Weaver kid though for New York though. I like
Yeah,
Weaver.
it happens. But
Mm.
New York just had higher guns. It just had a few more higher guns than the Guardians. That was it. That was it. And hopefully the Guardians can spin some purse strings next year. Hopefully Jackenzie Noel can take that right field spot
Yeah.
because I'm tired of the Will Brennan experiment.
Bye. Yeah.
I am. He could be a fourth outfielder or whatever and
Yeah,
things.
sure.
I'm
Sure. Okay.
tired of that. I don't want to break up the second and short, Rocchio and
No. No.
Jimenez.
No.
Now it'll be interesting where Benzana is going to play. I don't know if he's going to be up next year, but it will be interesting in the future.
Well, they
I
got some
think center
decisions.
field might be his future because I don't think Lane Thomas is going to be here that much longer. You know what I'm saying?
I know. That sucks too because I like him.
Yeah, but
Mm.
pretty soon he gonna want
He'll
some
want
more
money.
money.
He'll want American dollars, and we don't like to
Yeah,
pay that.
exactly. So it's one of those things. But hopefully Joaquin Noel can claim that right field spot. And I like Manzardo
Yeah.
because you don't know what they're gonna do with Naylor either.
This might be his last year.
Yeah. So you don't know what they're gonna do with Naylor. So they got a lot of decisions that they have to make. And the pitching rotation. Now, honestly, I would bring Boyd back
I would too. I would too.
and Bieber elected to go free agent. Now, I don't know what a deal for Bieber will look like.
I don't know. He's gonna want
And
money. He's gonna want money.
yeah,
That's
and what's the other guy name? The right hand pitcher name?
Gavin. Oh, Gavin Williams or
No, not Gavin Williams.
mm.
The older guy,
The guy that we got. Webb.
Cobb.
Cobb. Yeah,
Cobb.
Cobb. I was thinking Webb,
Cobb.
but Cobb. Yeah, Cobb.
Cobb have to give us $1 discount.
Yeah.
He'd have to give us $1
He needs to
discount.
stop it with his fingernail problems.
Yeah, he can give us $1 discount. You know what I'm saying? Need to give us $1 discount. But I do like the Manzardo. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. I didn't think he should have got sent down in the first place. But, hey, what do I know and everything. But, hey, shout out to the Guardians. Shout out to Stephen Vogt, Manager of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody expected y'all to be where y'all's at. Hopefully, if the front office can help y'all,
Spend
help the
money.
cause, spend money, we'll be back and everything. A lot of people is like, who you rooting for between the Guardians and the Yankees? I said, I actually, don't get me wrong, the Yankees ain't won it since 2009. But for the Guardians not to have won it since 1948, and as the home team, it takes precedence.
Yeah, I would agree. Plus, yeah, I get it. I get it.
1948, I wasn't even in the nutsack.
Hey now.
1948, we wasn't even thought of or considered. So you imagine how city of Cleveland would have been if they had won it all?
Oh gosh, I'm one of these days. That's my hope and my dream, Keith, to see a World
Mine
Series
too.
champion.
Mine too. Now, if you go in order, who would you think would be most likely to win a championship?
Cavs this year.
You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. Cavs, then Guardians, then the Browns and everything. It's like, hey, But also, I want to give some birthday shout outs before we get up out of here. Happy birthday to Emery Fields, my son's younger brother. He turned 26 on the 30th. Happy birthday to my bro, Myron Walters. His birthday was on the 30th. Happy birthday to, oh my God, let's see, November. Happy birthday to my longtime friend since junior high, Tracy Johnson. Her birthday was on November 2nd. Happy birthday to Charlotte Allen. I know her since back in the days at Tower City. Her birthday was November 2nd. And happy birthday to Mativa Yehuda. Her birthday was November 2nd as well. I'm sorry I wasn't able to come to your birthday party. Brother man, been struggling with sickness, and I've had good days and I had bad days. Matter of fact, I didn't do shit I was supposed to do yesterday. I was supposed to go look for a car yesterday. Didn't do that. I was supposed to do something else yesterday. Didn't do that. I was supposed to go to a party yesterday and didn't do that. It was just one of them days and everything, period. And on top of that, take care of my mom also. So I'm stretched out thin. Also, and happy 7th birthday to Marshia. Happy 7th birthday to you. Also, Marcia Beanbag, happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to all the Scorpios. And the Scorpios this upcoming week. Lord knows I know a lot of y'all. I know a lot of y'all. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios and everything. Ed, you got anything to say in closing before we get up out of here? Because almost that spiritual hour.
No, I just want to say go Browns. Also, everybody out there, Tuesday, election day, go out and vote if you haven't done that yet. Do your civic duty. And everybody out there, enjoy the games, enjoy life. And this is a fun time. And go Bucks and go Crew.
Yes, sir.
And, that's about it.
Yeah, congrats to Ohio State and Ryan Day. He won a game against a top 5.
He needed that.
Yes, he did. Because Franklin is sick. Yeah. He's sick with it. And Ohio State tried to give him the game.
They tried.
In the first half, they tried to give him the game, and I guess Ohio State said, fuck it, y'all don't want it. Might as well take it then.
That's right.
But it will be interesting in a few more weeks because they got Indiana.
Yeah.
And that team, They're tough. But anyway, I'll be back 30 minutes after the conclusion of the game, and it's going to be 30 minutes because I got to do something around 6 myself because I got a birthday. I got something I got to do and everything, so, you know. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot one more thing. Happy birthday to my nephew, Chad Richardson, who turned 16 on November 1st. How in the hell did I forget that? Happy birthday to you, Chad, and everything.
Well, you didn't forget it. You just got it in last.
Yes,
That's all.
yes. And wear that All About Sports 216 hoodie. I got you. No doubt. But anyway, we're out. I'll see y'all 30 minutes after the game. Hopefully the Browns win. It's All About Sports 216 Cleveland Browns pregame. Oh, shit, I messed up. Uh-oh. Got to change some things. With me and Ed, it just shows I've been slipping. Me and Ed, and I'm out, and we're out. Peace.
Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Cleveland is the city and town, orange and brown. You know what's going down, we reppin' that dog pound. Fans going crazy, dogs want a bone. Offense headed straight to the end zone. Ground game, pound game, this is our season. Now we need to stop. Let's go defense, special team, running back 6 for the score. Extra point good and the whole crowd roar. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, brownies, here we go. Here we go, here we go.